All right, everybody, come on in. We're going to do the demo very shortly. So come on in. We're going to talk about Ecamm Live, and we're going to learn from the start what Ecamm Live is, how to get started. Come on in and join us. I'm just going to write down, this is the demo. Come on in. I can see a few people joining us. Let me know in the chat how long you've been using Ecamm Live. I want to know if you're brand new, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, maybe longer than that. I'd love to know some of the questions that you have in terms of how to use Ecamm as well. So we're going to get started in a couple of minutes once the music starts, once the music finishes up. We've got about another minute and a half. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you want to know about Ecamm Live. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, everybody. Join us on the Ecamm Live demo, the Ecamm Demo. Here we go. We've been doing some really cool things today. And when we're done, I'm actually going to answer some other questions as well. So come on in, let me know where you guys are joining in from. Let me know in the chat. All right, let me just do something on the chat side here. All right. All right, everybody. We're going to get started in about 30 seconds with the Ecamm Live demo. Come on in, join us. We're going to learn some really cool things today. I'm going to show you how to use Ecamm Live for beginners, for starters, and maybe you've been using it for a little bit. Maybe you might learn something new. I don't know, but let's just see, shall we? All right, come on in, come on in. The Ecamm Live demo is about to get started right now. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Daniel. I'm an Ecamm Live, I think I'm an expert, and I know how to use Ecamm Live really well. It has been many years since I started using Ecamm Live, and what I found was that it was the easiest, most powerful, and joyful application software to use. And yeah, you know, sometimes it's a little bit challenging to get started, but wasn't walking when you first had started originally as well. You know, so there's a lot of opportunity for you to go from where you are to where you want to be, and Ecamm Live is ready from the very beginning to the point where you are live streaming, you're producing content, going through to thousands of people over Zoom or YouTube or LinkedIn or Instagram or other online streaming platforms, or maybe you're just wanting to record content for yourself. Maybe you're just wanting to create videos for your online courses. And if that's the case, Ecamm Live also is for you. And before I forget, Ecamm Live also is amazing for podcasters. If you're a podcaster, and whether you're solo podcasting or you are bringing in guests remotely, or you might have a call-in show, Ecamm Live can also do that for you. That is the cool power of Ecamm Live, is that it's not just a streaming platform. So I want everybody to understand that it's not just a streaming platform. I can see Paul, I can see Park Bros, hey, hey, hey. I can see several people joining us. Thanks for coming on board. Today, as I had mentioned, we are going to learn about Ecamm Live. Today is the demonstration. I'm going to show you how to quickly get started. Now, I'm going to do that demonstration, and then I'm going to kind of figure out and feel where people are on that journey of Ecamm Live. And if you have any technical questions or system-based questions or process questions, I'm also ready to answer those as well. So let's get started. I've already explained what Ecamm Live is. I use it for many different purposes, content creation, live streaming, but I also use it for a lot of remote productions. And that's another key thing that you can do with Ecamm Live that not a lot of people really understand, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that a little bit later. So let's go take a look at what Ecamm Live looks like. So by default, once you download the application file and you install it onto your computer system, you will see this interface once you've opened Ecamm Live up. And all of these different windows, I call panels personally speaking, and these panels mean different things. They do different things for you in terms of the features and the functions of Ecamm Live. So you can see here the big main window that I'm shaking in the middle. This is what we're going to call the preview window. Even though the reason why we call it a preview window is because you can make edits to this preview window without necessarily showing what happens in the program feed. So you might be live streaming and you want to make a quick little change. Maybe it's a title or maybe it's something in there, and you make that switch. Well, you can do that by doing it in preview mode and then switching it out and publishing it into the live program feed. So this, first of all, we need to understand that this is pretty much everything that you need to understand about this window, right? Now, there are different buttons that are out here. Here's the preview mode, and I can switch that. And again, you can see this program window at the bottom. So this is what the internet would see, but over here, they won't see those published changes until you hit this button. But that's, I would say, is a little bit more for the advanced folks. For the people who are just getting started, you're going to need to know these few things at the very beginning. The first one is that you've got a little camera switcher window over here. So if you do happen to have multiple cameras, you can go ahead and click on those cameras that do appear inside of here. That is kind of a quick way of switching your cameras based on this camera switcher panel, which dives into a little bit more deeper aspects of camera placeholders and things like that. But in the beginning, I don't want you to worry about that at all. I simply want you to understand that if you have multiple cameras, you can go ahead and switch. Now, some people may ask, what kind of cameras, what I do other than this front-facing camera? Well, one of the big things that a lot of creators do is they have a second camera, and it's either on the side or they may have a camera that is an overhead camera. So let's say you are a chef and you're teaching people how to cook or create foods right on your countertop. Well, you can have an overhead camera with that. Or maybe you are an artist or a sculptor, and you can have a different camera angle that's solely focused on that artwork. So you don't have to always have this one camera. All right, sorry about that, folks. Had a little bit of an internet glitch. Let me just double check that we are going, everything's on the backup. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back on board. Where did we leave off? Does anybody know where we left off here? Stand by. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for that. Let me see. Oh, we got a good amount of people. I'm just looking at the queue here. We've got a good amount of people who have been on Ecamm Live for more than a year, so awesome sauce for you guys. About a fifth of everybody who's watching right now is brand new. Sorry about the internet. I know that... Thanks, Timo. Yeah. It's funny, we can actually send people to the moon and into outer space, but it's hard to get an internet connection that just stays solid. So, sorry. Thank you for being with me here right now. So let's go back into the demo. I'm not sure exactly where the system cut off, but we'll make some edits in post-production on this one. So going back to the Ecamm Live interface here, if you're just recording for yourself, then you'll see this record button here, and you'll just make sure that you're not using the stream function. Now, for those of you who are looking to live stream, who are looking to go to such as YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, X, all those different platforms, as well as other platforms that aren't directly natively supported by Ecamm, you can use an RTMP connection. And if that's the case, what you're going to do is you're going to enable the streaming side, and what you'll see is the record button goes away because it now allows you to add destinations for your live streaming. So this is only if you're doing the live streaming side. So just remember that if you're only recording, you're going to uncheck this tag here. If you're going to be streaming and recording, you'll just have both of these enabled and your system will be ready. So because I'm not going to go live stream, I'm just going to undo that stream side of things. So this is where I'm talking about. It's like Ecamm Live is so powerful that it allows you to do so many different things, not just live streaming. So I want all the new folks to understand it's also for those people who are doing offline stuff. I can't tell you how easy Ecamm Live has been for teaching my business partner how to use it, because he was doing podcasts before and he was using different platforms that allow you to do that. And what happened was he would record the podcast with someone or by himself, and then he would do hours and hours on end of editing. And that took a toll on him over time, and people kind of lose the interest in saying, oh, I got to do a weekly podcast. But then he started using Ecamm Live, and I told him how to just do the scene switches in real time. He did that, and he shaved his 1 hour podcast end time down to a total production time of maybe 2 hours. And that's because he did the real-time live switching inside of Ecamm Live. So that's one of the greatest parts about Ecamm, and I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So as we continue on here, you'll see that we have a few other buttons at the middle top section here. So we've got a camera scene, a screen share overlay, and then a video file scene. So these are different types of primary scene formats that are available to create inside of Ecamm Live. So you can see here, this is a camera scene, but if I wanted to create a new scene and call this a screen share, I can go ahead and create a new scene here and then create a screen share button. And that's actually the screen at the back that you can see behind me. And so that is over here, except the word itself is not on there. Now, if I wanted to do that, there's other things that I could do, adding overlays and so forth, but right now I can switch between those two scenes, and you'll see they're switching in real time. And if I was recording, it means I don't have to do those edits later on. The other type of scene is a video file scene. I'm not going to click on that right now because I don't have any video files. But if you wanted to play a video full screen and broadcast that out or make it part of your recorded program, then you can go ahead, create a scene, link it to a direct video file, and that could be an MP4 or MOV, and then Ecamm Live will play that video, and then you can switch it back to your camera scene when you're done. This is really great for showing introduction videos or sizzle reels or things like that when you are doing a live stream, or if you're doing a production to a major, local event, you can also do that type of stuff too. So I really like using those video files for those types of scenes. Now let's go on to the rest of the panels that are here. The other really important panel here is going to be what we call the scenes panel. The scenes panel here that I'm going to shake around a bit, we have to think of like picnic baskets, right? Because Ecamm Live is a production software, but if you don't have a general understanding of what these different types of panels mean or scenes, then it's going to be hard to kind of grasp. So think of it this way. A scene is a look or a layout that you want to be showing in your live stream or your production. And so it could be just a full-size camera like this, or you could have a camera with or a scene that has a screen share overlay. So this one could be the secondary display at the back that has the Ecamm logo, and whatever I would show on that screen could now show as like this. So this could be one scene, this could be the other scene where I go back to the Ecamm logo. So little things like that are different scenes. You can see I switch, then I switch, and then I switch. So what I like to refer to them as is kind of like picnic baskets, and you can only be in one picnic basket at a time. So you can see here I have the default scene, which is one picnic basket, and if I pick this other screen share scene, this is a different picnic basket. So only one at a time, but you can create as many as you want. Now, once you are in a picnic basket, that's where the overlays come into play. And so this panel over here now, the overlays, this is like the stuff inside of each of your picnic baskets. So you can see here that we've got, showing all scenes, showing the current scene, showing the background. And showing the current scene, I had the overlay of the TV that's behind me. So that overlay is only for this scene here. So this is kind of like the apple or the cheese that's in the default scene basket. But if I switch over to the screen share scene, you'll see that that overlay here does not exist anymore. It's because that overlay is only for this default scene. What this does is it allows you literally an endless amount of possibilities. So you can create, you can drag in logos, you can drag in images, you can drag in animated GIFs or GIFs, who are hard G, soft G, I don't know, nobody knows, there's no real answer for that. Or, you know, you can bring in other different types of elements. So that's where you can see here on the bottom of the overlays panel, you've got different kinds of elements that you can bring in. So the first one is you can bring in is an image. The second one is an animated overlay image. The third one is a screen share. The next one is a text overlay, another different type of a text overlay, and then shapes and timers and clocks, web widgets, additional cameras, and folders. So with this combination of different elements that you can bring in, you can now create a whole load of new opportunities. So let's say, for example, I was going to create me plus a share, and I'm going to switch this from the camera source to a blank source. So this actually is the fourth kind of source. I'm going to go ahead and add a camera overlay. And let's put that there. And then I'm going to add the other screen share overlay. So instead of that screen, I'm going to add the Ecamm screen. So that one can be set like this. And I can change the order or the layers of them. You can see now that I have my camera in the top corner over here, and then my screen share is on the other side. And so that screen could be a PowerPoint presentation. It actually is, and I'll show you a little bit in a second, another slide. But that could be your PowerPoint presentation, and you could be putting yourself in the corner here. Now there's different formats. So if you double click on an overlay or you click on a pencil on an overlay, you can change the different types of shapes. So one that's pretty popular is the circle. And that allows me to do a couple things. It allows me to expand that screen share overlay, and now I can put my my video in the corner or on the side or anything like that. And again, everything's done in real time. So if I'm speaking like this and I'm talking about Ecamm Live and then I switch back to my main scene, I could do something like that and then switch back and forth between these different scenes. Let me just switch one thing here. There we go. We're going to use the cool function called live motion, which just came out. You see that? Did you see the difference there, folks? Where my camera used to just fade between the two different scenes. Now it actually moves between the two scenes. That is something that a lot of people really have been asking for quite a while now. And the developers, Ken and Glenn over at Ecamm, had just introduced this literally a few weeks ago. Huge, 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 major bonus. So if you've been on the fence about Ecamm Live because you're like, oh, it doesn't move and I'm using another software that does that, folks, move on over to Ecamm Live. Link is in the description. You can get yourself 15% off of your monthly or your yearly subscription. So you can see here, one basket, another basket, and I can switch things around just like that. Okay, so that is the power of how you would get started using Ecamm Live. Now, the thing is, a lot of people run into a situation where they're getting started with Ecamm Live, but maybe they don't quite yet know how to lay things out or what looks good or what, you know, they want it to look like a certain a creator that's already using Ecamm Live. It's like, how do they do these different types of things with the background? Well, the great thing is this, is that you don't have to get started by yourself. Remember, Ecamm Live is a community. We're a family. We're Ecamm fam, and we always help each other out. So in addition to a lot of different Ecamm fam members that are out there, there are different types of profile templates that you can download. Some of them are free and some of them are paid. So I'm just going to show you right now a free one that I had created, and I think it really does help you to get started by giving you the fundamental designs needed for the majority of your different types of scenes. So let's switch back over to the computer system. So if you happen to head over to, where'd it go? Hold on. If you go to this URL, danielchi.live/profile, you're going to, there's a little form there. You can download this following profile for free. It'll download as a zip file, and I'll show you right now how to get that installed. So when you go to the danielchi.live, /profile, you will see this new zip file that is downloaded. Simply double click on that zip file and you'll see this new file that's extracted, and it says free Ecamm basic profile from danielshee.live .ecamm profile. Now you may not see that .ecamm profile, and if you don't, that's okay. You'll notice that it has a little tiny little Ecamm Live logo on there. All you have to do is you have to double click this file, and it's going to load this new profile into your Ecamm Live. So you can see here now the profile has been imported, and all of these other new scenes appear. So you've got me with the comment. I think I'm in the wrong size here. Hold on. Testing 1, 2. Oh, I've got to fix some things around, so just keep note of that. Okay. So what's going to happen is you have a full camera for yourself. You have you with a comment on the bottom. You have you with another guest beside you. I'm going to figure out what's going on here. Hey, give me a sec. I'm just going to restart my Ecamm. Da-da-da-da. Sometimes things happen, right? Here we go. Let's go to NDI. Ba-ba-bum. Okay, here we go. So everything's fixed up. So you can see here on that profile, you've got a full screen camera. You've got me with a comment that's at the bottom, and these comments you can hide and you can show. And then you have got me plus a guest. So whether you bring them in through interview mode or Zoom, Ecamm for Zoom, you can now put them over in on that side. You can also show yourself in a big video picture and then a huge comment on the side. So if you have a lot of FAQs or Q&A, you can use this scene for people to show what their question is. And that you can basically grab from any of the comments that are coming into the stream. And then you can also add you and your guest with the comments, and then you and your screen share. So I'm just going to switch this one back to the secondary display, and you'll see here that, okay, great. So if this was my slideshow, I can show that slideshow over here on this side as my video is playing at the same time. Isn't this so much better than using the Zoom screen share function? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Zoom screen share function is phenomenal, but making it look like this inside of Ecamm is just extra bonus that your people who are watching you, they'll be like, oh, that looks so good. How'd you do that? Right? And that's what we want. We want to wow our audiences. And here is the screen share with you and your guests. So if you are both talking at the same time, you can just change this camera and switch to that. And then what we all like to do is kind of like a little color palette. So this scene here just has all your different colors. You can drag your logo in that you want as well. And then you're able to just make sure that everything is seamless in terms of the branding or the experience. So this profile is absolutely free to use, and you can go ahead and make any of the edits that you want to all of these different types of scenes. Now, if you mess things up, that's totally okay. You can always go back to that downloaded file, double click on it, and it will re-import that file for you to go back to the native versions of what I had designed for you when you downloaded that file. So the other thing you can do with Ecamm Live is to make sure that you go into your own profiles, and then you can go ahead and export your profile so that you can save it for future changes, or maybe you made some major differences or changes in your profiles and you're like, I've got my 2024 profile, but hey, 2025 is here and I'm going to use a new profile design. So you can do that as well. There are a lot of other cool things, obviously, inside of Ecamm Live that people ask for. Again, this is a beginner's tutorial, and so we're just talking about some beginner stuff, but don't worry, we're gonna talk about some advanced stuff very soon, okay? The other thing you want to look out for is this area up here. This is your sound levels panel. So the sound levels panel is all of your audio channels that are coming into Ecamm Live. Of course, for the most basic users, it is your main microphone here. So this is a MacBook Pro that I'm using, and so by default, it's going to be selecting my MacBook Pro microphone. However, if you have different external microphones or different mixers or USB interfaces, go ahead and select those microphones. So even though the MacBook Pro microphone is available here, maybe I have, a Rode microphone that's connected, and I can use the Rode Unified Chat and then select that microphone, and then boom, that it will be the microphone that's being used for Ecamm Live to go to your program feed, either through the recording or to your end production. So the key thing you want to look out in this area here is this green audio meter. Is it moving? Are any of the other audio meters moving? Because if they are, then that means that audio is going to be heard in your broadcast or in your recorded files. This is probably troubleshooting 101 for the majority of people, where they are experiencing some sort of an echo or some sort of, I recorded 3 hours of video, but my microphone, I couldn't be heard. This is the area that you want to be looking at. If nothing is moving, nothing is being recorded in terms of the audio side. Now, you'll also see that we have like a movie track. So if you were playing a movie file, right, the type of scene, remember we can play video files, then that audio track is going to be moving. If we have any things in our sound effects, so these could be the sound effects that are built into Ecamm Live. I don't think you can hear this because this is remote, but this is, right, that there is an applause track, and there's all these different types of tracks as well. You can have these by default inside of Ecamm Live, or you can also import your MP3 files. So if you have music tracks that are licensed, if you have other different types of audios that you want to play through your production, you can go ahead, drag them into the sound effects panel, or click on the plus sign to import them, and they can be played through to your broadcast or your recording. Now, when that happens, those will all come through the sound effects panel. So you'll notice that when I'm playing, for example, this applause button, both the audio for the soundtrack is moving and myself. That means the recording is going to have both things being heard. So if I didn't want myself to be heard, I'd be muting myself by muting that channel, and then nothing will come through. So keep an eye on those audio meters, because especially when you start to bring in guests through Zoom or through interview mode, that's where things start to get a little bit more advanced. But I'll give you a little bit of a tip. In essence, if you are bringing in somebody as a guest, or you're playing audio through your speakers, not your headphones, but through your speakers, then you must make sure that you have this enabled. So this is use echo cancellation. And what this does is Ecamm's using macOS default echo cancellation to say that whenever something is playing through the speakers, so it's actually being heard not just in headphones, but through the system, and it could be the MacBook speakers or it could be an external speaker, that audio is not going to be picked up, or it's going to be processed so it's not picked up and heard inside of the microphone. So if you have interview guests through Zoom or interview mode and you are using speakers, always make sure that you have this box checked so it's going to cancel out their sound so that you're recording your live stream is not going to hear them twice. Vice versa, if they're on their end and they're using speakers, they likely are going to have to use echo cancellation as well. However, you don't really have to worry about that when they're using Zoom. But if they are using interview mode, which is an alternative to using Zoom if you don't want to use a Zoom subscription, then in interview mode, what you're going to do here is you're going to make sure that this box is unchecked. So this basically means that if this is unchecked, it means that audio processing on the guest's end is enabled, so they will have echo cancellation on. If you know that your guest, when interview mode only, not Zoom for guests, but interview mode, if your guests are using headphones, you can go ahead and check this box, which disables that process, that audio processing for your guests. And therefore, it's a little bit of a higher audio quality, because anytime you are doing echo cancellation, there is a little bit of processing that's needed in order to remove some of that audio, some of that noise. And when that happens, it basically means it's not going to be as clear. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. So aside from that, I mean, really we've got the basics of Ecamm Live down through your scenes, your overlays, and some of your interface pieces inside of Ecamm Live. Now, Some of the more advanced stuff that you could start to look into after you've dived deep into the fundamentals of Ecamm Live are some of the camera effects. So for example, if I know that I wanted to zoom in a little bit more to my face and not see, my shirt logo, I can go ahead and digitally zoom in and then pan around and do things like that if I didn't, if the camera was a little bit too far or so forth. These are other little, features of Ecamm Live. If the color might be a little bit off and I just can't figure out how to correct the color temperatures in my room or the computer system, maybe the camera is not so good, then you can go ahead and play around with the different types of color temperatures, the brightness, the saturation, the gamma. You can do all these things to make your video look better, right? And so again, moderately advanced settings that you can dive into a little bit later. Comments and reactions occur when you're actually live streaming. So on my regular system here, I can see the comments that come in from YouTube. Aside from that, the other people who are in your Zoom meeting and you're using Ecamm for Zoom, all those comments will show up here, and that allows you to add those comments to your live stream. So for example, I've got this as my live stream. I can go ahead and add this last comment here. Phone Jail said thank you, right? Now I could also go in and let's see, where's my comments window? I can also go in, you can see here, this is the actual Ecamm production machine, but I can go in here and click on this, right? Or click on Paul's comments, and then those comments will show up. So that's what that comments panel is for. But aside from that, really honest, this is all you need to know. So everything that you've learned in the past 30 minutes is exactly what you need to get started with Ecamm Live. So and then once you get, those fundamentals down, once you started to learn how to just kind of stand on your own 2 feet, then is where you're going to start to learn how to walk faster and then run. Now that could take a time, and that's okay. It could be, maybe a few hours to maybe a few months, and that's totally okay. The big thing I want you to know is that Ecamm Live fam members are here to help you. Ecamm Live support is here to help you as well. So if you have not yet joined the Ecamm Live Facebook community, I encourage you to do that right away. Go to facebook.com, search Ecamm Live, and you'll find the community. And I'm sure that Paul will have that link as well inside of the chat. Or there it is, right there. Ecamm Live, where'd it go? ecammlive.com ecammlive.com/community. That's the link that you want to go to get directly into our Facebook group. And I'm telling you right now, I just talked with Jill the other day, we have so many moderators that are driven to help you, get you from where you are to where you want to be. And all of us are around the world. So we're literally on this group or in this group 24/7. And we're here to help you. And then obviously, if there's really big technical things, we always want you to contact Ecamm Live support directly and have them kind of figure out what is going on, because maybe there's a bug, maybe there's something else that they could figure out and solve for other people. So we definitely want you to go down that road. But this online community is bar none the best community I've ever been a part of. So that is Ecamm Live. That is the basic demonstration of how to use Ecamm Live. I just want to quickly let you know that anybody who is on the advanced levels, if you have questions, or even beginners, and I'm just going to go into questions in a couple of seconds, if you have anything like that, you can always find out and ask more about how to use Ecamm Live. Also, hold on one second here. There we go. Also, I do also have an event coming up, which you guys, if you guys are interested, it's called Live Producer Playbook. Live Producer Playbook is for the advanced users. It's for the people who are looking how to do remote or live productions and really make it seamless for their audience members. So it's not for beginners, it's more for advanced people. So this is coming up, so stay tuned to hear more about that. All right, so thank you very much for joining us. Stay with me because I'm going to answer a bunch of different questions right now. So let me go back into my questions here and let's see. So if you guys have any questions, please put a Q and a colon in front of that. That will make sure that we see that as a question. All right, so Ooh, Chris says, I'm about to upgrade my streaming studio. Set is fire. Yeah, man. You know what? Honestly, I just upgraded this side of the studio. We have a pretty large studio, thankfully. And I upgraded this studio, this side recently. Let's see if I can do this. Is it moving? All right, now we got it. So this is actually quite a large studio setup that, how do I do this? Here we go. And so that what you've been seeing is just a portion of the studio itself, but I've got a lot of cool stuff all over. You can kind of see all this junk here. That's actually multiple displays that allow us to see multiple Zoom rooms, comments that are coming in as well. And then this side here, I've just got a little area for a producer's desk so that when the main talent is here, I can just sit over there and do a bunch of production on that side of things. And then over here, you guys know that this is the Smart Touch Screen TV. That's a 65-inch screen that allows me to do different things. One is obviously show images in the background, but also I can write on that in real time too. So that is always fun to have. So this side here is the live stream training side of things. The other one is for, you know, content creation and VODs and stuff like that. So Chris, I can't wait to see more about your studio. So definitely, once you've got that set up, I want you to go into the Facebook group and I want you to publish and post some videos or some photos of what you've got. If it's a video, make sure you upload it and just let us know, because maybe you can inspire some other people who are looking to up their ante as well in terms of their studio. So kombucha, I've been using it on and off for years and still learning something new in every demo I watch. That's awesome. I love that you're always on that journey of growth, because that's where we're all at, right? So let's see, what else? Boom. Yeah, as we say, live happens. Yeah, that is true. London Pen, hey, what's going on? I will use it almost exclusively for recording. Absolutely. You know, honestly, from a ratio of live streaming to recorded content, I would probably say it's 95% recorded content. So I do a lot of training videos that I will record and then do quick edits, just usually trimming the front and the back end off, and then publishing that into my course creation or course hosting software. But then the live streaming side is just fun. I love doing it. And if anybody here is not saying to themselves, well, I'm not a live streamer because I don't go to YouTube or I don't go to Twitch or I don't go to LinkedIn, that's not just live streaming. If you are presenting to people on Zoom, if you're presenting whether it's webinars or meetings or Zoom events, that's also a live stream. You're creating your content and you're sharing in real time to your audience. So I consider that live streaming as well. I love Paul. Think of profiles as houses in a neighborhood. Each house is a different show. Scenes of the rooms inside. Paul, I love that one. I am going to borrow/steal that from you because the picnic baskets was the best one that I could figure out at that time. So that's really cool. Don't put peanut butter on your computer. Definitely not. Here we go. If anybody is new and you are looking to get started on Ecamm Live, definitely get your 15-day trial, or was it a 14-day trial? I can't remember. But a couple weeks you're going to get on that, and you're going to get all the features in there. But you also get a 15% discount when you use that link below. So it's where we're at. Did you explain how to install the profile? I can rewatch if so. Yeah, absolutely. It was, I did do it. I basically said download the profile and double click on it, and it's going to open up your Ecamm. It's going to introduce or import that profile quickly. And that's the great part about it. Now, you can also, if you wanted to, instead of double clicking on that profile file, you can go up to Ecamm Live and say profile, and then you can say, oh no, you actually have to double click on it. I could swear there was a button that said import, but I was wrong. So just go ahead and double click on that profile file that comes down, okay? How to connect with Zoom. All right, great question. So here we go. Let's show that. So once you are inside of your Ecamm Live interface. What you'll see here is a panel that says Zoom. Now, I'm already logged into it, but if you were not logged into the Zoom account, then you'll see one button that basically says Log In. That button, once you click it, is going to open up a web page, and it's going to get you to confirm that you are authorizing Zoom and Ecamm Live to communicate with each other. Definitely say approve, and once you do that, it's going to say, okay, go back and open up Ecamm Live. Like a little pop-up is going to show up. And once you do that, the Zoom panel is going to now look like this. So you can do multiple things. One is you can just instantly create a brand new meeting from here. And then once you do that, like let's say, for example, I hit new. You can do that, and because I'm showing my camera, this is going to look like that. Let me just make it look different. There we go. So this is the Zoom meeting. So what you could do is you can just go ahead and click on participants and then say invite, and you can invite people to this same Zoom call by hitting the copy invitation and then emailing them out. This is really for like on the fly kind of meetings. Otherwise, right now you can't see it because I'm in demo mode, but there would be a link down here at the bottom corner of this Zoom panel that you can click on, and it's that Zoom link that you can go ahead and share. So that's one method of starting your Zoom call. The other one is you can join somebody else's Zoom call, and that's where you'd either copy the entire link that you get from them in an email or a text message, or if you received the information manually and it was a meeting, then you would go ahead and click this button, either paste the entire full URL or paste the meeting ID, and then it will ask you for the passcode, and then this join button will appear. Once that happens, the Zoom window will open up, and you are now a participant inside of that Zoom call. The third button here is scheduled events. So all of the events that are currently scheduled in your Zoom account will appear here. So all of your recurring as well as your one-time or upcoming meetings, they will all show up inside of here. So that would be the third way to connect to your calls. So that's pretty much it. That's how you would connect into Zoom. So thank you so much for that question. Definitely put a Q in front of that question if you have any questions about that. All right, Christian says, recommendation for entry-level PTZ camera on a school budget. Christian, really good question. You know, a lot of people are using PTZ cameras, and if anybody doesn't know what PTZ means, it means pan, tilt, and zoom. And that's exactly what this camera is doing. So this is, it's looking at my belly, but this is a pan, so left and right, tilt, up and down, and then also a zoom camera. So these are, I'm specifically using the OBSBot cameras. Now I purchased the latest and greatest ones that they have. It's called the OBSBot Tail 2. They are definitely pricier than the other traditional PTZ cameras. But if you need to zoom in a great distance, like let's say, for example, the subject is going to be 10, 15, 20 feet away from you, I'm going to suggest that you invest in this camera. Yes, it's around, I think, $800 or $900 US. But with that, you are getting an optical zoom, which is going to be very important. That essentially means that when you zoom into the person, you can go up to 5 times and there's no loss or degradation in the quality because it's an optical zoom. The other PTZ cameras that are out there are really, really good at their widest side, and they can zoom into maybe 1.5 times, but after that, it's all digital. So things start to blur a little bit. But if you are on a very, very tight budget, I highly recommend the OBSBot Tiny 2 Lite and the Tiny 2. Those are maybe a couple $100, give or take a little bit, and the quality is phenomenal. Plus their support and their software also is very, very good. I was using a lot of other different PTZ cameras in the past, and I've just found that the OBSBot, I just kind of like them, you know, so I've definitely invested in several of their cameras for our studio here. So go for OBSBot. Oh, by the way, this is a huge one. If you guys are looking for OBSBot cameras and you're an Ecamm member, actually, no, if you've got the Ecamm link, essentially is what it is, but you can get a discount on OBSBot cameras. So Paul, if you've got that link, I think it's 8% discount, which is really, really good. So if you want, go ahead, use the ECAM10 coupon code when you're checking out on the obsbot.com website, and you'll get an 8% discount. So every little bit helps. Definitely check that link out. Tom says, I saw that you have a background to comments with the Ecamm logo. Could you show us how to do that? Let's see. When I said the background to comments, actually, let's switch back to this one. This could be, I didn't have an Ecamm logo on it, though. Like, so for example, here is your comment here. I can go ahead and, edit the background colors. So this would be the background color area. Oops, sorry, I gotta go into demo mode. I can change that background to magenta and so forth. I could also alter the size of your avatar, but I can't really, maybe you were seeing something that had to do with the background image. So if there was something back here, maybe there was something there that you were looking at. If I'm wrong, just double check, let me know. And I'll definitely be able to help you with that one. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next question. Rodney, are you using OBSBot camera as you walked around? Yep, absolutely. I am using the OBSBot. Love the OBSBot cameras. Let's see. And yeah, these are the Tail 2s. These are the new Tail 2 Airs. Excuse me, not Tail Airs. These are the new Tail 2. Tail 2. What did I say before? Tiny 2. I meant the lower budget ones were the Tiny 2 and the Tiny 2 Lite. This is the Tail 2, which is the highest end camera that they have that has the optical zoom, tons of connections on it as well, and it can do 4K 60 as well. I've done live pen drops, which are fun. That sounds really cool. Doing stuff live and, showing people what you've got coming up, that's the best, man. Hey, just wanted to say thank you for assisting me in Facebook chat last week. It's my pleasure. That's what we do as a fam. We always help each other out. This is what life is about. It's about helping everybody else to achieve what they're looking for. And if I can just help at least one person, then my life is fulfilled. Can you show us how to create a background to comments? Only colors right now. So that's the only thing right now that you saw. So it's just comments. Let's see, Donato, question. If I'm recording and I do something I want to edit out later, do you suggest I pause or stop the recording and start a new one? I'm going to be honest with you. I actually think you should just keep the entire recording going and then in post-production, edit it out, because you may actually find that you can use part of that thing where it's like if you hit pause and you start it again, or you ended it and started it again, it's like then number one, you're dealing with two files in your editor, so you have to bring in both files rather than just one big file. And the second thing is maybe there was something valuable that you said in the meantime before you hit record again. So I would definitely just keep it recording and go from there. So what I do is a couple things. One is I'll usually do an auditory cue to let myself know where I'm restarting. So generally speaking, when I'm talking and I'll talk about certain things or different topics, and then I actually could have said that better. So what I'll do is this. I'll pause so that I can see a gap in the audio timeline. And then, so that gives me a visual cue. It's like I paused, there's a problem there. And then I'll tell myself, I'll say, go back about maybe 30 to 40 seconds where I started talking about this. I'm going to say it over again. All right, and then I go back and talking about the topic. So that auditory pause allows me to visually see where I've made or need to make changes versus, hey, I'm going to be talking about the alphabets from A to B. I mean A to C, I mean A to Z, and then just keep talking and never stop. If I don't stop, I'm going to have to listen to every single word that I have to repeat myself, or that I'm repeating or saying on that recording. So I love it. There's no wrong way, by the way, but that's just how I do it. Question, how to crop on a share screen? A really good question. These are awesome questions today. So let's do this. So let's see, I've got a share screen. Let's say, let's just create a whole new scene. Okay, so I've got me, and then I'm going to add a camera as a circle. And let's say now I've got a screen share, and that's going to be the back TV. So let's just pretend this was a screen share and it's a different ratio or something like that. And if that's the case, then I want to crop certain things out. So you can see here, when I move my mouse to any of the corners or the edges, if I simply resize it from there, then the entire overlay shifts and changes in the exact same ratio that it was originally at. However, if I hold down the Option key on my keyboard at the same time, that's how it crops. So if I wanted to do that, I can crop out from an edge or the bottom, or I can go ahead and crop in from a corner if it's going to be a little bit faster. So that you could do that on many different types of overlays. I think it also works on circles as well. You can see the border still stays the same there. So you can do stuff like that. So that's how you're going to do it. You're going to hold the Option button down and click drag on any one of the edges. Good question. Yeah, we got that. Oh, crop share screen. Yep. It's the logo overlay on the screen. Yeah, that's probably what it was. It was that. Sorry. But however, Tom, really good point. Can we add images or background images to the comments? So you see right now it's all white on the back, but what if I wanted a pattern? What if I wanted a logo overlay, or what if I wanted something like that? That's a really good question. So I encourage you to join not only the Facebook group for Ecamm Live, but also find the Ecamm Live beta group. So we have both the public version of Ecamm Live as well as a beta version. The beta, obviously, you kind of get new features before they go into the public release. Are there bugs? Are there this? Are there that? And of course, it's beta software. However, the developers at Ecamm, sometimes these betas are so polished that you can go ahead and use it publicly. I'm not encouraging you or saying that you should. I'm just saying is that you can, right? But if you join the Ecamm Live beta Facebook group, you can go ahead and ask that question. If that's something that you were looking for as a feature, you can just say feature request. Are we able to add images or logos or textures as a background to the comment overlays? Oh, that would be so good. Nice one. Let's see. Rodney says, before I started using Ecamm, I was investing 4 hours per session with multiple cams in Final Cut. Now with Ecamm Live, it takes 45 minutes. Can you see that? Like, what is your time worth? Right? Like, to be able to do these switches, massive, and that's worth a lot of money. And actually, it's worth a lot of gray hair too, so really good for you, Rodney. I love that, love that, love that. Your question is, Ecamm has an M for marking scenes while recording. Please explain this process and how to take advantage of it. Yeah, absolutely. So inside of Ecamm Live, you can see that obviously if I'm hitting the record side of things, it's got the recording timer. But let's just say I'm either live streaming or I'm recording. I can go ahead and hit the M button, and you can see marker added. What that basically means is a file is going to be saved when you finish recording your Ecamm Live production. And that file is going to have a time code in it. So if I just do that, and I do that again, and that was around the 20-second mark, you'll see that it just keeps adding these markers. The reason for that could be many. One is that you could hit that M to say, that's where I messed up, and that's where I need to correct it again. Or you could use that if it's, let's say, for example, you're doing an interview with people, and they said something that was just remarkable. You can go ahead and hit the M again on your keyboard, and that's going to, again, add a time code. And then you'll know that that time code meant something was really important. So when you are finished that broadcast, you can go in and now view your file, and you will see this text file. So all of the time codes, or the times that I had hit the letter M on my keyboard, are saved in here. So at 6 seconds, 20 seconds, and 39 seconds, there was something remarkable enough for me that I wanted to add a marker, and I can go into the editor later on and say, that's something for me to pay attention to. So that's what you're going to use the M key for. So really good. Okay, let's see. Can you show how we sort out questions in the comment window? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let's do that. So you can see here that I've got, this is the actual production computer system. You can see here my comments window. So all of the people who are on YouTube right now who are putting comments and questions and all that stuff are going to be in here. Now I have a couple of different ways to sort out comments. They are going to be newest always is going to show up on the bottom. So if I wanted to, I could do a couple things. If I'm like, yeah, you know what? I really love that London Pen added this question. So I'm going to hit a star. And then USA Livestream also did a question, so I'm going to go ahead and hit star. So these are favorites, and now both of those will be appearing inside of the favorites tab. So that's one way of saving these comments. Now, once I've answered this question for London Pen, I can uncheck that or unstar it, and then USA Live's question, I can also unstar that as well. Now, the other thing I can do is go ahead and inside of the search box, I can search anything that I want to. So if there was a keyword that somebody had asked that I want to go find again, I can go and type that in here. Or if you've noticed that a lot of, if not every single stream or event that that Ecamm Live does, the moderator is, especially Paul, Mr. Moderator right there, Paul Duncan, he will say in there, if you have a question, put a Q and a colon in front of it. That way we know it's a question and not a comment. And so what I can do as the producers, I can go in and just go into the search box and I can type in Q and colon, and you'll see all the people who had questions that followed the format get their answers showing up here, and it allows me to quickly, decipher and go through the things that are not questions. So you don't have to answer anything that just has a question mark on the end, right? If you've got a lot of stuff coming in, you can just go ahead and answer the ones that where people followed the instructions. So really good, awesome. That's a really great question there. Let's see, London. Any other options for people who have deleted Facebook? That is in the works right now. Definitely we have Discord. So if you have not yet, and you can go ahead and join the Ecamm Live Discord group. And then I know Jill has some ideas and concepts, and we're kind of just ironing things out right now. But very shortly, there likely could be another option for people who are not who are choosing not to use the Meta platform, or sometimes can't even get onto the Meta platform. So that's a really good question. Let's see, USA Livestream says, what lights do you use as your video resolution is awesome? So I have a series of different lights. Lighting is a science. Lighting is very important for you to get good quality, clear video. Now, I've got obviously expensive cameras here, these Obsbot cameras, but I also have other types of mirrorless cameras which even have better video quality in terms of the sensor size. But it doesn't matter how good your camera is, if your lighting is bad, it ain't gonna look so good. You could turn any cheap quality video camera and make it look really good as long as you have lighting. So, so right now I've got multiple different lights. I've got, let me see if I can get this going. I have, include in switcher. Okay, sorry. Oh, actually, hold on. I can show you guys through this. I'm gonna show my laptop, and I'm just gonna walk around with this a little bit. There's my big head. Okay, so you can see here, I've got these. You see those rectangular, squarey kinds? Those are all Elgato key lights, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a fifth one up the back there. So those I've got those lights, and then I've got these big Japanese lanterns that are part of the main lighting system here, and that just adds a little bit of extra fill lighting. So that is there, and that's pretty much it. That's all we have. And right now, this here is the MacBook Pro camera. Now, I know the MacBook Pro camera is actually really good, but this is, I personally think this is phenomenal. This is a really, really good look and quality, but it's because I have the right lighting. So if you don't have or have not yet looked at the different kinds of lights, the key is this: the bigger the light size or the source of the light, the softer the look is going to be. So if you have smaller light sizes, like let's say these panels are very small, the further away it is, the more diffused it's going to be. The closer it is, the more harsh it's going to be, and the more hot spots you'll get all over, like glowing spots on your head or your skin, things like that. So yeah, and so and right now I'm also streaming at 2K. I'm streaming at 1440p, not just 1080p, but I'm bringing in my cameras at 4K. And so there's a little trick that you can do. Basically, your camera's at 4K, but your streaming is not at 4K, which means that you're still going to be collecting more light and more pixels, more colors because of that high resolution, which improves your overall production as well. So good. Let's see. Love how my studio's set up. Thank you very, very much. Yeah. Again, this is a teaching studio that I've got here, and so basically I have a lot of flexibility in terms of how to build out things. And I just started messing around, so you'll see here. Actually, this is a mess, but it's a lot of different screens that allows me to do different types of things. And I'm just right now building together. You see that thing with the red lights at the bottom? I'm just building that out right now. And these are different video switchers that allow me to bring in up to 24 different video signals and then distribute them to any location that I want to. So I have up to 24 in and 24 out. And so a little bit more of an investment, but I have an idea of what I'm creating. And I've got a lot of people who are interested in renting the studio space. So, hey, if you live in Southern Ontario, in and around the Toronto area, I'm about 45 minutes outside of the city. And if you're looking for a place to create your content, do live stream productions, stuff like that, we do it. It's all a one-stop shop. You can just connect with me and we can get you going from there. And you also look younger with the lights. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully it's knocked off 20, 30 years. Lighting definitely is key. Now also, the direction of the lighting too, right? It's like, right now I have a lot of the overhead lights, but there's another light. I'm just going to move this to this side. There's another light that I have, which I did not turn on, but it's it's on the ground. And now look at it. Now the wrinkles are all gone. Now the bags are less, now all that stuff. So, lighting is huge. You definitely invest in lighting. London Penco, west side of Toronto or east? North. It's the north side. You know where Stouffville is? Oh, yeah, by the way, I just passed by you a couple days ago. I drove from the US back to Canada, passed through London. So, yeah, just in Stouffville, which is just north of Toronto. All right. Okay, let's see what else we got. I think we're pretty good. So let me go back to the stat here. Let me see if that's changed here. So 62% of the users who are watching right now have been using Ecamm Live for more than a year. So congratulations. If you've been using it for more than a year, awesome sauce. If you've been using it for more than 3 years, oh my gosh. And if you've been using it for over 5 years, wow, that is amazing, to be able to continue to use the same software at the same, to do all of these different things, especially 5 years ago. I mean, do y'all remember what life was like 5 years ago? Live streaming was big, but not big. And because of some of the circumstances that had happened around the world, everybody had to get online. And now the world is very, very different. And Ecamm Live has definitely been a part of a lot of people's lives from there. So that is amazing. Let me see some of these other stats. And then the rest of the people, brand new, 18%. That's 1 out of every 5 people that are watching here who are brand new. And then 12 months, another 18% between the two. So we've got 40% of people watching right now who are less than a year. So congratulations to you guys. If you guys need any help, definitely we are all here to help you with that. Let's see. Donato says, what mic are you using? I'm using this guy right here. This is the Hollyland Lark M2. I've switched from a headset mic because I like to be able to do and walk around and stuff like that. So this microphone has been phenomenal. I do have it tweaked around a little bit to make it sound better. And then my room environment also is not echoey. So I think it sounds pretty good. Let me know what you think. USA, sincere thanks, truly love your live. I appreciate that so much. I love to do this, and we're going to do this once a month with regards to these live demos. So just join us, and please just, set that time aside. It's definitely really refreshing and nice to see people coming every single time, even if they know Ecamm Live inside out. Rodney says, I started using Ecamm Live when the pandemic started. Yep. A lot of people started switching over and having to do things. So that's good. And USA Livestream, I'm saving money to have a computer like yours behind you. Well, that's actually just a TV. Well, it's a smart TV, so it definitely is pricey. But, honestly, I'm actually using this live stream right now is using the base level Mac Mini M4 with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabyte SSD. That's what, $900, $800 maybe American. And so that is able to run this production with multiple cameras, multiple everything, and it's doing it really, really smoothly. The graphics are just really, really good. Live demos are the last Friday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, Paul. Ronnie says, can you please demonstrate right quick the new audio profile EQ? Yeah, dude, let's do it. Okay. All right, so inside of your Zoom panel, your sound levels panel, you're going to see here a little tiny puzzle piece. This is a new feature that has been added, and it allows you to add different audio filters or EQ settings to your mic sources. You can add it either to your own microphone source or to different, I think you can add it for guests as well. So right now you can see here it doesn't have any audio filters, and I'm not going to turn on any right now because I don't want to mess things up. Heck, let's do it. Okay, let's switch this one over. Okay. This is the puzzle piece. You can see here there are no audio filters right now. So if I go ahead and click on plus, you'll see I can apply it to any one of my main or secondary microphones, because I can have up to 2 microphone inputs inside of Ecamm Live, or I can apply it to certain interview guests that are guests 1 through 10. So that's interview mode and or Zoom guests. So once I have that, and I can say it's the entire mix or specific channels. So entire mix makes those all disappear. And then I can go ahead and click on Add Plugin. Now by default, everybody should have the Apple plugins. If not, I think there's some sort of a weird thing you can do with an install through your Mac OS that can add these. And then if you have other VST plugins or different types of sound plugins installed that are available system-wide through your Mac, they will also appear in this drop-down menu. So I did install the Elgato EQ because I'm using the Wavelink software from Elgato to make this microphone sound better. And so I can go ahead and apply that here, or I can go ahead and just simply add the audio effect here. Now, again, it's only right now affecting the main mix, so that's my main microphone source here. So if I wanted to, I don't know, let's just play with pitch. I don't know what this is gonna sound like, but okay, so this now should be sounding differently, and you can see here I can go into the actual plugin configuration itself, and I can start changing the pitch.
So I can make my sound like, I don't know if this sounds like Barry White. Girl, I don't know. We'll see what that sounds like
after it's played.
Or I can make myself sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. So you can do all these different types of things to edit. Now this is just the pitch side of things. If I decided, hey, I don't like that, I can go ahead and click on the plugin and drag it into the trash can, or I can
select it and drag and delete it from there. That's really the fastest way to, start to add different types of plugins. One really popular one here, though, for folks is going to be the noise reduction, and it is called, sound isolation. So this is a nice one to use because if you have that fan in the background or if you have a little bit of traffic and it's just this constant noise that's there, by enabling this sound isolation plugin, you can move the wet dry mix, basically means how much is it going to take away and how much is it not going to take away. Starts off at 100, but if you move that percentage down, what you can do is you can say, okay, just bring it to the point where your green meter stops moving, which means that it's now eliminated that background noise. So this is definitely one of the features or the filters that I think everybody should add, is that one there. And then the other one, I personally really like to use the graphic equalizer. And this graphic equalizer allows you to reduce some of the low end and it increase some of the mid to low, and then decrease the nasally, the whining sound from your voice, right? Is it real? So when people meet you in real life, you're like, hey, my name's Daniel. Just, I don't know how you're gonna make yourself sound, but that would be funny though, wouldn't that be? Very deceiving. But that graphic equalizer is a really good plugin to help you to get that really nice, rich sound. So that's actually what I'm doing here with this Hollyland Lark M2. I am using a graphic equalizer and a dynamics processor plugin to change that audio quality in real time. I'm just not using it directly through Ecamm Live because sometimes I'll just go directly to Zoom, but use the same microphone. So, love it. Love that you had that question. Thanks. I have not played around huge amounts with it, but I do know that it's a really good one. So my voice went from Barry White to Barry Manilow. 2 berries. Yep, very, very good. If you use Crisp, I highly recommend you check out the sound isolation plugin. Yeah. Crisp is really, really good, but it is a subscription. The sound isolation filter is free, and it works extremely well too. So if you're not looking at paying a subscription, yet another subscription, the sound isolation feature is really good. Paul also says, I've been able to replace using Crisp with the sound isolation plugin, 100%. All right, folks, we are wrapping up. We are 10 minutes past the hour. Thank you so much for joining me today on our Ecamm Live demo and having me be a part of your journey through your Ecamm Live and your live production journey. If you want any of that free profile stuff, you can go ahead and go to danielchi.live/profile. You can download that there, and I showed what it looked like and how to edit it earlier in today's live stream. You can also find out a little bit more information about my upcoming event, which is called Live Producer Playbook. And Live Producer Playbook, again, it's for more advanced users, people who are trying to figure out how to level up and create more reliable productions from a live production perspective. So you can either be a remote producer or a self-producer and you're doing it all by yourself. But either way, it's a 3-day intensive, and this is going to be coming up on April 22nd to 24th. And we're going to be announcing the opening of the registration very, very soon. So yeah, aside from that, we will see you later. So I want everybody to go ahead and light it up. All right, so light up the chat. Let us know the biggest things, the biggest wins that you've had in your live streaming journey. Remember, just because this live stream is ending does not mean that the comments are going to end until the production finishes, right? So anyway, thanks everybody. See you again next time.